Alright, hey guys, I just finished the Heroin Diaries book by Nikki Sixx today, and I'm just going to give you hopefully a quick review. I have a whole 2 pages of notes here that I kind of want to go over, what I thought was shocking and what not. So, yeah, let's get started. Alright, like I said, it's Heroin Diaries, a year in the life of a shattered rock star by Nikki Sixx. And Nikki is of course the bassist for Motley Crue. For those who don't know, this book basically contains Nikki's journal entries from 1986, 1987, a time when Nikki was struggling with drugs and all this, heroin addiction especially. And then a couple things I find interesting about Nikki. They're pretty sad, but they're interesting nevertheless. Nikki has actually died twice. Once in the UK when he overdosed on drugs and was left for dead in a dumpster, and second in December of 1987 was shooting up at an apartment. He was legally declared dead and actually regained consciousness, and he saw the light, and he says he saw some pretty messed up things. That could be speculated. I'm not gonna go into that, but yeah, so of course that changed his life around when you read the book here. And then he was legally declared dead, and then the paramedics finally were able to revive him and the paramedic was actually a Motley Crue fan, which is pretty cool. And that's how the song "Kickstart My Heart" came about, was from that December 1987 experience. So it's it's pretty interesting, a little background. There's a couple things that shocked me while reading the book. More than a couple, I think. Was the fact that Nikki says during this time period in his life, he really only when he met heroin, he fell in love with it. And it even says, I'm gonna just quote this right now, or paraphrase this. It says when Motley got big, he loved sex. He even compared sex to a conquest or adventure, stating that women were just a form of entertainment, nothing more. However, the sex-driven attitude changed when he was introduced to heroin and freebasing. This is when he truly fell in love, and this is when his drug buddy Vanity came along, and now she's clean, which is good. They're both clean, but she couldn't even satisfy him. And then I found that passage to basically summarize a lot of the book. If you read, let's see, because and it summarizes the book, because if you read the dirt, you will see that Nikki just likes being around people, especially women, and he obviously throughout the book is faced with his addiction, and he couldn't stand being in public anymore. And then in the end, basically the desperation was demonstrated when he couldn't even leave his house and was in his closet shooting up naked. And he called the cops because he thought the security company was coming in on him, which is pretty nuts. And then I found it pretty disturbing and interesting at the same time that Nikki's relationship with his mom, and especially in the dirt. If you read the dirt, he says that she was a horrible person for leaving him, and throughout the book you'll see he grows to like her, and so it's basically the same thing here. And basically they had a tight relationship. He used to call her darling and all this, and it's definitely interesting. And then once his mom kind of abandoned him, and he found the truth. He figured out the truth about his sister and all this, Lisa, who was in a California mental hospital because he just had hatred sort of kind of her. And the one main theme, I guess you would say, if there is a theme in this book, he just acted. I find it interesting that he was able to contain just a normal life, sort of, kind of. I mean, he was obviously strung out, but he was professional life. He was writing new material for the Girls album, and he was but it wasn't the same Nikki Sixx. he was recycling old Aerosmith riffs and stealing the song titles. As if you listen to if you read the book, you'll see this. He was he recycled the book title 5 Years Dead, and kind of uses a song title. And I mean, I guess this stems. I expected more from him, even when he was on drugs, but his life is of course in complete shambles. He started being paranoid, like I said before. He called it, and he basically, there were points, extremely bad points, where he was, first of all, he couldn't find somewhere to shoot up on his arms, so he ended up, shooting in his private parts, and that kind of shocked me. I guess if you're an addict, you have to find a way to shoot up, and that was his thing. And another thing, his best buddy, of course, Tommy Lee, he showed up to his wedding completely just shit-faced, I guess you'd say. Excuse me for the language, but just shit-faced and all this. And he said that was basically when that was again one of the times when Nikki was just very self-centered and didn't want to be around people. It was, it's a tough time for him. And then he finally in May of '97 gets clean with when his stepdad Tom stays with him and finally gets clean, and is clean for a while throughout the girls' tour. And then unfortunately, probably I think it was like September of '87, starts getting the itch of being on tour, and he just comes back right on drugs again, and then sticks through them through about November. And then once they get off the tour in '87, he gets clean, so in his house. And finally, I believe it was in December of '87, he dies, and then this is when he dies, and then that's when he definitely turns his life around. And if you read the book, you'll see how he changes and how his life focuses from him, his drugs, to his music, and then his family. And then he gives a whole big timeline of what has happened since early '88 to about 5 or 6 years ago. So it's definitely pretty interesting. So I mean, I guess overall, I would say that this book was obviously one of, I love the band, I love Nikki, and especially he's an inspiration for addicts who, and I think it's a good book for addicts to read, because they will see, oh, I can get through this, and I don't have to hide myself. But unfortunately, like he did, but the books just want you. The books just keeps pulling you in, and every page you'll say, wow, every event you'll say, how is he still alive? I don't get it. And I think even if you're not a fan of the book, let's say you're a fan of the music industry, you'll definitely like this book, because if you've ever wondered about the wild lifestyle of a rock star, this would be it. I can't wait I cannot wait to read his next book. This is gonna hurt. I'm probably gonna start that in a couple days. So thank you guys for watching my quick review on the Heroin Diaries by Nikki Sixx. I'm actually gonna put this summary somewhere in the description, so if you want to read what I had written here, feel free. And like I said, thank you guys for watching, and watch my other album review about that goes along with the book. And have a good night, everyone. Thanks you for watching again.